That means order dependency means you have to pass the parameters in the same order as they are defined in a formal list, in the same order as they are defined in formal list. And one more important point is a required parameter cannot follow an optional parameter. That is the basic rule just we saw. That means I return a function as print, and here name is a question mark, is a string type, and price is a number type, and we return a function like this. Syntax, we return a function like this, then this is invalid, invalid. So it is invalid. Why? Because name is optional and price is required, and required parameter cannot follow an optional parameter. That means, so it's important that if you are having an optional parameter, so the price also must be an optional parameter. And for example, so we are printing that. So console.log. Here I printed name is equal to, so $name. Okay. And in the next line, so price is equal to $price. Okay, we are printing those details. Now we need to verify undefined. So that means we need to configure undefined for both of them. Suppose, so what is the logic here? If name is equal to undefined, then what should happen? It should print only price. The logic I written in this way. It should print only price. Okay, else if, right? If price is undefined, or simply another simple condition we can write here. So if, so price is undefined, price is equal to undefined. I have to print these two. Only name, I don't need to print the price. That is another approach. That means we are defining here undefined. If name is undefined, what to do? Else if price is undefined, what to do? Else, that means I will add this because I need a multi-level hierarchy. Then I am using else if. And else what to do? That means both are undefined. That means else what to do? It has to print both details. So that means if price not defined, if name not defined, print only price. If price not defined, then print only name. If both are defined, then print both details here. And observe carefully. This is where we are discussing the point. So print product, I am passing the name as Samsung TV. I am passing the name. And once you observe here, in this, I am passing the name, and it is printing the name only. Okay, I am passing another. So here console.log, so some dots. Okay, and I am calling this again print product. Here I am not passing the name, I am passing the price. Now you have a problem. You can see that it is not allowing. That is the point I told you. The point is nothing but I told you that even you are having optional parameters, The parameters that you have defined in a function signature have order dependency. Order dependency means you have to pass the parameters in the same order as they are defined in formal list. That means the point is without passing name, you cannot pass price even if it is optional parameter. Optional parameter, order dependency. Optional parameter, even if it is optional parameter, then you have to handle that here. You cannot pass that. You cannot pass that. That means you cannot directly pass price because according to the order, it is expecting. See, it is saying that. So not assignable because it is a string type. But you said that it is optional. Optional means it can be defined as undefined. So undefined. It doesn't means that you can ignore that. Actually, if you are ignoring, it is verifying as undefined technically. If you are not defining, it is by default undefined. Undefined. In JavaScript and TypeScript based environment, if a parameter is defined in the function, it is important that you have to follow the same order how it is declared. Order dependency issue will come. Even if it is a formal parameter, you have to define a value for that. Even if it is a formal parameter, you have to define a value for that if it comes before the other parameters. Before the other parameters. That means name comes before the other parameter. Then without mentioning about name, you cannot pass the price. But name is optional. So if it is optional, then what you have to do here is you have to say that undefined, 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 and 42. That means you are saying that name is not being defined. That means even, see, optional, generally optional parameters means it should allow. That's what we have to understand in a concept called overloading. Overloading of function will solve this problem. If you are not overloading the function, and in the function, if you define some formal parameters, you have to pass them in the same order how they are defined. So then why you are saying they are optional parameters? All optional means they can be left as undefined. Optional means they can be left as undefined. It doesn't mean that they can be ignored. I hope you understood. By default, if you are not writing, then automatically it will set undefined. Already you saw that if I am not defining price, what happened? Price is printed as undefined. That means what is the key point you need to understand? Optional parameter means not ignoring the parameter, leaving the parameter as undefined value, leaving the parameter with undefined value. If you are not writing that parameter, automatically it will leave it as undefined. It will leave it as undefined. Optional means not ignoring that parameter. Optional means actually you are defining the parameter as undefined. You are defining the parameter as undefined. So the key basic rule you need to understand, the key basic rule you need to understand is optional parameter, that means question mark. Optional parameter with question mark. Optional parameter means undefined. Optional parameter means undefined. That means it will use undefined. It will use undefined. It is not like ignore that parameter. Ignoring the parameter is actually done by overloading technique. Overloading technique. So here it is not overloading technique. It is only once written and in the same order you need to pass. You need to pass. So optional parameter means undefined. That means, so if you don't if you don't define